Star Sister Wives Kody Brown was seen today at a Utah Barnes & Noble with an unexpected mix of Tony Pedron and himself. Not exactly the crowd you'd expect to see him with, is it? To be honest, it's good to see him interacting with some of his children. I was beginning to question why I really wasn't at the cinema stargazing trip, but perhaps Kody was spending that time hanging out with her and Ysabel. Welcome back to the TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Is Tony Pedron really with them, I wonder? Yes, that intrigues me. Kody was looking through the self-help section. It's fantastic that he's trying to spend time with the others and truly, but perhaps he should read a book called What to Do with Children Who Aren't Robyn's. How Robyn allowed it to be airy, clinging to his leg and sobbing to keep him from leaving is beyond me. Read Kody Brown's Patreon response to the most recent episode, and she brought up an interesting point. Aurora in particular seems to have a particular palate and allergy, so it appears that Robyn or Mindy had to give them permission before they could eat. It was allegedly common for her children to be the only ones eating the food due to these purported allergies. However, didn't Janelle mention in the previous episode that cooking was a nightmare for him when Kody arrived because he had developed so many allergies at once? As well, it's an interesting time, huh? Why is everyone at Robyn's house suddenly allergic to everything, and Kody caught the illness from hanging around with the other wives? I mean, are we really meant to think that this is it? It's exhausting between the allergies, the never-ending list of items they can't consume, the settings, the inability to handle words, and the inability to mention things like Christmas trees that trigger them. What the hell is happening in this situation? The ride ahead for Robyn's kids won't be easy. She cries all the time. And let's not forget her dramatic hospital visit for coronavirus, even though she wasn't in need of emergency care. And then there's Kody, acting as though he was close to death due to his awful temperature of 99 degrees. The coronavirus claim altered him irreversibly. He now limits his intake to warm lemon water. Such bad examples are being set by these two. Rather than instilling resilience in their children, they have brought up a fear of everything. By which I mean that Aurora had to be helped up the stairs. That was somewhat worrying. To be honest, Robyn is such a control freak that she's probably convinced them they have allergies. And let's face it, wouldn't they have been evaluated by an allergist if they genuinely had food allergies? Yes, exactly. To me, that seems more like fussy eaters than allergies. Why couldn't they simply stockpile food that her children can consume as well? Not just any old collection of acquaintances, but a family. Just picture Robyn's reaction if one of the sister wives refused Ariella a cereal bowl. I'm just saying. Furthermore, given that it's a reality show, it's intriguing to wonder if sister wives could pass the Bechdel test. Traditionally used in literature, the test inquires as to whether two named female characters converse about anything other than men. You initially believe it to be a simple pass. The show is full of women interacting with each other, but closer inspection reveals that this isn't quite the case. As many have noted, a significant amount of the show is centered around the women talking about their relationships with Kody, their struggles with polygamy, and the tension that frequently results from his actions. Consequently, in terms of passing the Bechdel test by discussing a subject other than men, that might be difficult. However, one noteworthy exchange that springs to memory is that between Robyn and Michael T. Talking about Avalon getting used to the twins. That appears to fit the description of two identified women discussing children as opposed to a male. Indeed, over the years, there have been sporadic discussions regarding parenting, family dynamics, and even the infamous hat-talking incident with Mitch's mother. However, as someone else noted, the Bechdel test requirements aren't completely met if we don't even know Mitch's mother's name. Further, confessionals on the show add to the confusion. As these are one-on-one interviews, two women almost never get the chance to talk directly to one another about anything that would pass muster. In conclusion, even though sister wives might occasionally pass at very certain times, it is difficult to continuously meet the Bechdel test requirements because of the show's general emphasis on Kody and the patriarchal structure of the family. While performing the test reveals how frequently women's talks on reality TV revolve around men, it should be noted that reality TV is not fiction. Kody, additionally, I completely understand why the group get-togethers featuring Kody Brown and the wives in one space were missed. They brought a level of drama and intensity to the individual interviews that were absent during the coronavirus. Although it made sense for them to film independently, you would think Sister Wives could take a cue from programs like Real Housewives, which successfully bring everyone together for drama. However, it's unlikely that anything truly useful will come from it now that restrictions have been lifted. The only thing we get is to see Kody get about 4 shades of purple when he realizes how content his ex-wives are without him. And to be honest, that would be more fun than useful. Let's be honest, Kody would never consent to that. Just see his curls bouncing as he storms out, shouting about his dignity. If they could just hire a different host for the reunion, someone who won't be scared to put him through his paces and demand truthful answers, I would be content to watch him falter under genuine examination. That would be something to watch out for. Besides, honey, it's all about the money. Kody Brown has been performing the performance for years, and the entire time has been profitable for him. He acknowledged that before Robyn entered his life, he had never experienced true love. Where does he get off pretending that any of the first wives were the issue then? Nor did he fulfill his half of the bargain by his own polygamy philosophy. Kody has made a lot of money from the show, and it's evident that he considered his relationships with the wives to be transactional. Meri was useful because of her revenue from both her clothes company and the B&B. She labored for years, Janelle, and he has undoubtedly profited from it. Robyn, meantime, hires nannies and partakes in the bounty of others' labors. The event brought in money for each of the 5 wives. However, who was actually benefiting from this? Robyn and Kody. Naturally, it becomes evident when you rewatch the Arizona move that the goal was to extract the money from the Vegas residences and use it in a way that would benefit both Robyn and him. Kody's entire perspective changed when all the money was transferred into Robyn's home and was solely in their names. His true colors suddenly showed through. The money from the original 3 wives is evidently used to build 75% of Robyn's home. He realized that if the money remained in the Koya Pass lots, it would be simpler for Janelle, Christine, or Meri to get their money back if they moved out. Rather, he moved the money into the house, which made it much more difficult to find or sell. This sounds a lot like money laundering, doesn't it? In addition, Kody has clearly neglected the other women, which is another form of cruelty. He was only with Christine's family for 3 days. Poor Meri, he couldn't even be bothered to contact or check on her during the coronavirus. She wasn't asked to Easter after Janelle, and out of 800 days, Janelle went months without hearing from him. With the departure of Christine and the demonstration of how phony the entire Family Unity Act was, Kody and Robyn will face severe consequences in the absence of the show and the contributions of the original 3. To make it, they'll need to really land employment with Jovi. And there's the hypocrisy of Robyn. She left her ex with tiny children, but she has the audacity to advise the other women to stay for the kids. Christine, though, is in possession of the receipts. She is the first cousin of Robyn's ex, with Robyn and Kody blaming the original 3 for the problems, while in fact they were the ones taking advantage of other people's resources. It's all just one huge game of manipulation. Poverty has always been Kody's worst worry. He calculated the amount of money he would have lost if Meri's scenario had been genuine. He was able to con her into giving him some money by pretending that he was going to start over in Flagstaff, but he was deeply hurt by Christine's leave. She took off with a sizable sum of money. She probably tied it up by securing her share of the pie before he could get his hands on it and lock it down. Regarding Janelle, Kody is aware of her business acumen and is hesitant to work with her any longer as she is able to see through his deceit. Nevertheless, he retains her as a valuable financial asset, and she may be able to pursue her just compensation. Additionally, Janelle has never been good at keeping things to herself, and Kody needs someone to vent to when things with Robyn get tense. It's obvious that Kody has no regard for people. He enjoys their ability to provide for him, what they give him, and how they bolster his ego by vying for his focus. But in the end, it's all about power, deceit, and money. It's hilarious to watch Kody struggle in actual situations. Let's dissect this gold. Kody is dealing with lowball offers while attempting to negotiate the sale of the McMansion. It would be invaluable to witness his ego collapse with everyone. Seeing him struggle when purchasers offer a little percentage of what he believes the house is worth makes me think that the guy is a superb negotiator. It would be much nicer to kiss the house inspection report, Chess. Imagine Kody perusing over every single flaw, dripping roof, poor wiring, structural problems, and noticing that the cost keeps going down. His response to learning that his cherished McMansion had fallen into fixer-upper status as a result of a house foreclosure would have been comic gold at a sheriff's sale. The drama of Kody and Robyn losing the house they tied all the original prudent money into poetic justice, an art appraiser breaking Kody's heart by appraising his artwork at $1.50 while explaining how he's overspent thousands, please. This would be the sister wives version of reality TV gold. It would brighten my day to simply picture Kody attempting to defend his works as the appraiser gives him the cold shoulder, Mary laughing her way to Disneyland, and Kody asking her to assist Robyn pack. Since Robyn has already departed, it's almost too much to believe that Mary would do anything for him. To be honest, I'd pay to see that. Janelle telling Robyn to get a real job and stop acting like she's sobbing. Yes, please, with Kody included. Fans would find it really soothing to witness Janelle deliver some hard truths regarding their work ethic and finances, because she doesn't put up with fools. Christine going over Kody's child support records with a smile would be the ultimate "I told you so" moment, especially when she calmly revealed how much of a mess he's made while he wriggled. Of course, Kody's dive-way strategy would fail, and he ended up chopping down a tree that destroyed 2 cars, an RV porch, and everything in its path. That would be the icing on the cake for the man, who isn't exactly known for making wise decisions. To be honest, this list might revive sister wives by making Kody and Robyn endure real-life repercussions rather than living out their illusory fairy tale. Furthermore, the way Sister Wives star Kody Brown talks about his marriage is failing, especially the part where he says he wasn't leaving them no matter how much he didn't love them, has become something of a spectacle. In fact, he takes pride in having lasted in partnerships in which he freely acknowledges he wasn't invested. The detachment he displays from reality in both his words and deeds is astounding. It seems like he's trying to portray himself as the martyr or the victim every time he speaks, but all it does is bring attention to his narcissism and selfishness. He doesn't seem to understand that he is the true issue when he talks nonstop about how the spouses rejected him or how he was wronged. You're speaking the silent portion aloud like Kody, and it's making you appear worse. With every episode, his downward slide has become increasingly petty and hateful, making it difficult to turn away. He can't handle it. He's too engrossed in his fantasies and grudges, especially with Christine. It seems that the fact that she's doing so well without him is what's making him act in this strange, almost spiteful way. The most concerning aspect is how his control-obsessed nature and frail ego could cause his resentment to only grow. It's not surprising to see him becoming increasingly irrational in response to those traits. No one else can have them if I can't. Feelings. He is clearly unstable emotionally, and in all honesty, the more attention paid to his actions, the better, as his insane remarks and lack of self-awareness need to be addressed. He's having a front row ticket to his own demise, but it's the ultimate karma to watch him slide as everyone else is happier without him. Furthermore, Sister Wives star Kody Brown's actions throughout the entire coronavirus incident were very much rules for thee, but not for me. He was definitely living his best life with Robyn's family and using the pandemic as a pretext to keep his distance from the 3 original spouses and their children. There is a stark inconsistency. Let's dissect it. Kody became alarmed when Gwen went in person to school, claiming that seeing Christine's family was too dangerous due to possible coronavirus exposure. However, soon after Brianna and Ariella return in person to school, all talk of quarantine regulations and risks to Robyn's children disappears, and everything resumes as normal. In the instance when, prior to the move to Utah, Kody actually made her give him a final embrace before preventing her from giving any other hug out of caution. It's just one more instance of his uneven application of the law. It's obvious that Kody's coronavirus restrictions were not genuinely intended to protect the rest of the family, but rather to keep him inside Robyn's bubble. The whole thing reeks of duplicity. There were no constant rules that he was adhering to. All he was doing was sticking to his favorite family by making up handy excuses to avoid the OG spouses and their children. He started using coronavirus as an excuse for his mental and physical distance from everyone but Robyn. Although there is some muddled editing, the main problem is that Kody was being a jerk. His coronavirus limits weren't meant to protect anyone. Their goal was to simplify his life and concentrate on his connection with Robyn, which was the only one for which he had feelings of concern. If you were looking for more Sister Wives gossip, come back to TLC Flicks for all your updates. Bye, guys.